Mike Alcoholic.
Hey, Mike.
What I got out of the topic was being no longer oblivious. Whenever I hear page 62 read, it reminds me of how I used to be. When I look close at page 62, it describes me because what it describes is somebody who is running through life unaware of how my actions affect others. It talks about all I can see is how they retaliate. And I'm sitting there going, I didn't do nothing, seemingly without provocation. But it says, invariably we find, and what they mean is, invariably if I do a 4-step, I find that at some point in the past, I may have made a decision based on self that placed me in a position to be hurt, meaning I set some ball rolling in the past. That's the part that always eluded me, and meaning that if I'm on 62, I'm absolutely oblivious. I'm running around, and I can't see how I'm doing anything, and I have blinders on. And the reason I'm focusing on that slightly is because a lot of times if I'm not careful, after I've worked the steps, and I've heard people do this, they'll claim they're still on 62. I'm like, hold on a second. There's been a change, right? There's supposed to be a change. The topic talked about there being a change. So now I'm not on 62, I'm on 84. That's where it talks about I've been trained to look for these things. I've seen how I've carried these things for years and what it did to me in the 4-step. And now on 84, I'm looking as they crop up and trying to deal with them sooner. And I think that's called progress. And I think that's important to acknowledge and hear myself say, because just the old cop-out, I'm still on 62, doesn't quite get it. Because what I'm saying is, I ain't got no better. I'm not saying I don't have defects. 84 talks about when these crop up, not if. But what I am saying is that I've been given a set of tools that make me responsible a lot of times for the things that happen. Because I've acknowledged that I set a lot of balls in motion, that all I was sitting there going, I'm white as snow, I'm a victim, I didn't do nothing. And that's what the 4-step showed me, was a lot of the things that I thought were true were not. I had a story about my old Uncle Alvin. He knocked down a wasp nest we were throwing rocks at when I was a kid. And he came up with a cane pole at a family get-together and knocked it down and walked off. And we're standing there looking at him. We can't believe this asshole did this. Look what he did to us. And for about 10 years at every family get-together, I sneered at him, laughed at him, talked at him behind his back, let him know I hated him. And it wasn't until I got in recovery that I realized I was the little shit stirring up the wash, stinging the old ladies. He was the good guy. I wasn't even able to process why he did it. All I could see is what he did to me. And what I realize now is I ran through life like that, believing things that weren't true, acting upon them, and running roughshod over everybody's feelings. Now, if I know that about my past, if I don't do something different, I could make that same past my present and carry some more shit for another 10 years. What these steps promise me is that I don't have to do that. Now, the real trick is not cleaning up the wreckage of the present quicker. The real trick is to learn how to live and maybe incorporate a slight bit of restraint of tongue and pen in there, and maybe watch a little closer what I'm doing, and not even, as opposed to fixing new wreckage of the present, how about let me not create some new wreckage of the present? That's when shit starts getting cool. When I can go through a day and say, you know what, I ain't fucked nobody over today. See, that's what I'm talking about. I can't remember too many of them days now that I look back. And it's not my junky pride bragging about it. I'm kind of ashamed, to be honest with you. You know, it's hard sometimes for me to say, I don't regret the past. There's some things back there. If I'm the only one, then so be it. But what I got from the topic is the steps have brought me from one place, a place of being oblivious, not knowing and not even caring, having my mind play tricks on me. Like Malcolm X said a long time ago, it tricked me, it hoodwinked me, bamboozled me, led me astray. You know, my own fucking mind, and I believed it. And what these steps have brought me to is a place where I see my mind's propensity to trick me, and I'm saying, no, not today. I'm going to do a few simple things and try to keep reality in front of me. And I find that my life achieves more balance. And I make less enemies. Oh, I got some haters now. Don't get me wrong. Everybody does. But I'm talking about me actually going around hurting people. So that's what I got from the topic, that we're no longer oblivious. I've had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, and I'll pass.
Thanks,